On the 18th of May 2025, Split Second turned 15 years old. To celebrate this, I decided to give myself a little challenge. Beat the game without wasting anyone, which means without using any power play. Yeah, I know, I'm taking out the most interesting thing in the game, but it turned out to be a lot more interesting than I thought. But before we go, I'm gonna make the rules clear. I am not allowed to trigger any power play, route change, or shortcut. I am allowed to use a shortcut triggered by an AI. I am allowed to counter the helicopter in air revenge, as although it uses the power play buttons, it is not counted as power plays in the game stats. The condition to beat the game is to finish first in the Elite Championship. I am not forced to win every race. Now with that being said, let's see how I did. I'll skip through the first episode as it was unsurprisingly a walk in the park. However, it's still worth mentioning the first Elite race, which had a pretty close finish. The next few episodes would see the appearance of some extra game modes with Airstrike first, then Survival, Detonator and Air Revenge. Since our challenge doesn't change anything for these game modes, I'm mostly gonna skip through them during the video. All of them were won on the first attempt anyway. The second Elite race would be my first loss, much sooner than I expected, as I decided to restart after reaching the last straight in third. The AI being balanced to make you use power plays, it is obviously harder to catch up to them without breaking them. I still took the win on the second try and won all the races of episode 3 fairly easily. However, the fourth episode would prove to be a bit more difficult as I lost my first elimination race, mostly because I wasn't paying attention to what was ahead of me. But that was just a silly mistake, and I managed to easily take the win on my second attempt. The next race at construction site also didn't go too well in the first attempt, but thankfully in my second attempt, the AI triggered the power play that unveils a hidden shortcut, which gave me the win by a huge margin. The next race at Ferry Wharf was a first try win, however, it was now time for the Port Bridge Elite race. This race is notorious for having some pretty bad rubber band. And the track doesn't help, as it is mostly straight lines, and it has a shortcut at the end that the AI is very likely to trigger. And on top of that, you're constantly attacked by the AIs behind you. Needless to say, I accepted third place on my second attempt, as I knew it would not be worth it retrying over and over for first place, and I also really wanted to make this challenge fit in only one stream. Plus, if I needed it, I could always come back to it with a faster car. Speaking of faster cars, Episode 5 would grant me the right to use the Hanzo GT, which didn't help that much on Expressway as I barely won my first attempt, but it transformed the dry duck race into a solo time trial as I finished with a 30 seconds lead over the second place. For the Elite race, I misclicked and picked the Vortex, which was unsurprisingly not good enough. After switching to the Hanzo GT and getting a pretty bad start, and another one, and another one, I finally got a good attempt where I easily took the win. Now it's time for episode 6, introducing the power plant, one of the Hanzo GT's best tracks. Well, usually it is, but the inability to take the shortcut is a big handicap, as well as being always under the threat of power plays from the AIs behind. Power plant is a very tight and technical track, and as such, it is not an easy track for this challenge. But I still got a win on my second attempt, after struggling a bit to break away from the pack. After that, the Elite race was on dry docks, so it was fairly easy. That leads us to episode 7, which was overall pretty easy, however, its Elite race was on Expressway. The main issue with Expressway is the end section, where there is no corner for me to take the advantage. I accepted third place on my second try and moved on. The next race on power plant gave me some trouble as the AI was often getting in my way and ruining my lines, but I eventually managed to break through and take the win, which made me unlock the Ryback Coyote, a welcomed car change as I was starting to struggle even on tracks where I had the advantage. Though it didn't help much on the Storm Drain race as I only got second, didn't bother and skipped directly to the Elite race in power plant. After a quick restart, I got into the lead using a shortcut triggered by Brown. I kept that lead until the very end of the third lap where Vixen caught up thanks to the shortcut, but I managed to block him and win the race. And now we're left with only 4 episodes left. The next episode was actually fairly easy, as the only 2 races it contained were easily won on my first attempt. The elite race was gonna be more difficult though. As I was battling for the lead, I got wrecked by a crane only 3 turns before the finish line, putting me in 6th place. I unfortunately didn't manage to catch up and had to restart as I was gonna end up in 4th place, which is not enough to unlock the next episode. I got luckier in my second attempt however, as the AI triggered almost no power plays for the entire second half of the second lap, letting me easily take the win. I decided to switch to the Cascade for the change, however this led to many issues, as I just couldn't get a win on power plant with it. After a couple of retries, I decided to switch back to the Coyote and won on my first attempt. As a Cascade lover, this hurt my feelings. However, the next race was gonna be a different story, as I spent 20 minutes on it. What? How did I survive that? What? Oh, and I wasn't even looking. What? I wasn't even looking there this time. And I survived both. What? No way, that's crazy. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. My first attempt would have been a 5th place, which was far from enough in my opinion, so I retried. On my second attempt I was about to crush the finish line in 3rd place, but I decided to restart. In hindsight, it was definitely not the best decision. What makes this race so difficult is that the AIs have a lot of very efficient power plays at their disposal, combined with their ability to trigger the shortcut at the start of lap 2 and 3 to pull away from me. Eventually, I took the lead at the start of the first lap thanks to an AI who wrecked every other AI. This was my chance. This time, even though I still couldn't take the shortcut, I kept pulling away from the AIs, and got a rather peaceful race for the most part, winning it by quite a huge margin. To my surprise, the elite race was fairly easy, as I even waited for the AIs a little bit at the end, but they were still nowhere to be seen. I didn't want to lose too much time, and in terms of points, I could allow myself some leniency, so I decided that I'd accept some podium finishes for episode 11 if I couldn't get a win on my first try. The first elimination race was held at Airplane Graveyard, where I made this 6th spin, and I got 2nd place on my first attempt, which was good enough. It was a tense battle though, I'll let you judge. Come on. Okay, fine, I'll take second. The next elimination race would give the same result, although without the spin and a nice battle for the lead at the end. The airport terminal race was an easy win, and now it was time for the elite race on Canyon. But I had a new car this time, and it would prove to be pretty good. Alright, first. That race was kinda tense and I got some skill issues in the process, but I was really happy to get the win on my first attempt. But now it was time for the final episode. The expressway elimination was a bit scary. I got 5th place on my first attempt, as in the main straight, a car crashed just next to me and slowed me down enough to kill any chance I had to catch up to the leaders. However, the next attempt was a surprisingly uneventful win. Now the last challenge in my way was yet another canyon race, which, thanks to the AI comedic friendly fire again, and also thanks to my incredible dodging skills, I won fairly easily. Now all I needed to do was a fairly easy survival race. Ah, barely touched it. In this run. Oh, come on! I'm like 500 points away! So this is it. The final elite race. The final event of the challenge. All I needed was a top 3. Let's see how I did. So normally this race is actually quite easy in the Cyclone, when you use power plays. Okay. We are already in first. We still have Torpedo behind us. Not gonna lie, I'd be happy if I get third and if the first and second are Braum and Torpedo. Actually, it would be nice. A nice way to finish. To lose to some of the underdogs. Where the hell are Raptor? Okay, I see one of the S510, one of the S510s. It's either Raptor or Vixen, which is in 4th place. Brown is cooking. What? What the hell did I crash into? There was no corner sticking out or anything here. Yo, what? You're supposed to push me. Why did I drift? The physics in this game sometimes. Oh, Vixen died. He was already in last place. And he died. Oh, I need to finish at least in top 3. Yeah, Raptor died. Okay, the S510s are in last place. Crazy. They're even behind Rig. Crazy race so far. But I'll try to do my best to take these two. Oh, okay, Torpedo. Did he hear? Oh, oh, he got Brown. Nice. Okay, thank you for the first place. I'm looking back a bit too much, I think. No way! The car drifted out of nowhere! No, I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed. Why did it drift here? Okay, now Raptor is in rubber band mode. Oh, Raptor crashed. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna get second. Nice. Okay, first try, but second, but still great. Let's go. And with that, the challenge was completed. According to my stats, I had 0 power plays triggered, 0 shortcut triggered, and 0 opponents wrecked, which proves that the challenge was a success. You can find the full unedited playthrough on my second channel, where I post most of my stream replays. You can also find me on Twitch, where I play a wide variety of racing games. That's where this challenge was streamed as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you for the next one.